Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what it is. It's Taco Tuesday. So that only means one thing. Yes, there's another episode of I.O.W. Sports. But myself, Randy Weber, we're in the building, and we got a lot to talk about in regards to the NFL. Some injuries happened. Some not so surprising wins to the two of us that happened on Sunday. It might have been a surprise to others, but not to us two. We kind of called that. It's all coming. We'll talk about that. A lot to talk about. So, hey, let's just do that. Let's talk football. Let's talk sports. It's I.O.W. Sports Show, Late Night Owl Edition, episode 408. Let's go.
Yeah. Solid Hill TDS, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W. Sports Network, Late Night Edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark. Hey. L Boogie with the hot flame, ashtray full of top names, little tree for your membrane. This the night hour time frame. I just snatched up a 6-pack, got my hands on a lid pack, whipping up a little batch of snacks. Yeah, man, I think I'm all set. Late night, can't sleep. Go ahead and just tap in. Better grab you a cold one, and we about to get some laughs in. Wild card on the microphone, he'll hit you with a couple flurries. Y'all need to just strap in for some entertainment sports commentary. About to raise the bar. Wild card bar. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card bar. We about to raise the bar. Wild card bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're gonna raise the bar because not only is it Taco Tuesday, but it's myself and of course the homie Randy Weber is in the building, and he's feeling good. Look at the name. Look at the name. Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo. Cole. O-R-O-Y. That's bold. That's a bold. How you doing, bro? What's good?
Ooh, did you see it? Ooh, did you see it?
Oh, I saw it, baby.
Oh, man. That's how I'm doing.
Hey, you know what? Let's get it out the way. You're feeling good. Obviously, we'll recap and round up the week 4. But hey, look, I called it. My homie Chris Style called it on the Airhead Chief podcast. I'm pretty sure you was confident going in to that Sunday's game. Big win for the G-Man. A lot of people gonna call this an upset, but Randy, here's why I'm not gonna call that an upset, and why the Giants were the better team that day. Not only because they won, but going into that matchup in week 4 for the Giants and Chargers, I know a lot of people are like, oh, the Giants, they're 0-3. They're no way. The Chargers, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, they're 3-0. And you would be correct if you just went based off of that. But if anybody that watches, and I've been watching a lot of football. Obviously, people know I'm a Chiefs fan, but I've been watching all the NFL. And rightfully so, because we got a podcast. If we're going to talk football, I want to be knowledgeable. All right? So, when I saw Joe Alt in his second year, who was a phenomenal left tackle, that was his original position. Obviously, when he got drafted to the Chargers, he moved to right because Slater was already there, but Slater's out. He moved to his natural position. That made total sense, perfect sense.
Yep.
But when you see a guy as talented as Joe Alt, and I saw what he did to my man Chris Jones week 1, stood him up multiple times, more than once, right? Dominated Chris Jones. Dominated that whole front four of the Chiefs. It didn't matter. If they was on Joe Alt's side, they wasn't getting nowhere close to Justin Herbert, and they weren't making no plays. All right, cool. When Nick Bonito of the Denver Broncos put Joe Alt in the washing machine last week, I mean, the weakness I saw in Joe Alt, he can't handle the speed rush like a Nick Bonito. Can't do it. All right. Now, imagine
another great speed rusher.
Another great speed rusher. So take Nick Benito and put 3 of them on the Giants because that's what they got. All right. I'm talking about Abdul Carter. I'm talking about Brian Burns and Thibodeau. But and then of course, we ain't even said Sexy Dexy. Pause. So you take that front 4 against that same Chargers O-line that's already minus Slater, and unfortunately Joe Alt did get carted off in that game, so that's not good for the Chargers. So we'll talk about that later on because I think the Chargers were on a high for the first 3 weeks. Oh, y'all about to come back down to earth, but we'll talk about that later. I wasn't surprised that happened, and then add to the fact that Jackson Dart got inserted into the starting lineup. Juices are flowing. Brian Daboll looks like he's competent because he switches quarterbacks, and I still don't think he's competent, but that's another conversation. And they came out with the win. And I want you to start right here, Randy, because obviously we didn't get to talk last week about when they made the change. And I was not expecting the hook that quick for Russell. I didn't think it would have been the whole year. I knew for a fact he wasn't going to play all year, start all year. All right. So I think we both can agree on that.
Yep.
But after week 3, I was like, oh, damn. Okay. Well, I make sense. Brian Daboll, you need to save your job. So speak on that. Start right there with the move to go to Jackson Dart and then speak on the game.
Okay. So my reaction when they announced the move was that I didn't think it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so first of all, and I've said this on the pod before, I think it was a huge mistake for John Mara to make publicly clear before firing Daboll and Joe Shane that their seats were hot. Because if you do that, you're incentivizing them to make short-term decisions for this season specifically, knowing we don't have the overall team and the worst schedule in the NFL, that we're not like, they didn't expect to make a playoff run this year. And if you're not expecting to make a playoff run, then you shouldn't be making short-term right now decisions.
Exactly.
So I disagreed with that. And then this is the logical extension of that, which is, well, Russ has been bad for 3 weeks. We need to get more wins so we can go to John Mara and be like, look, we're winning. And so let's replace him with Jackson Dart. Now, there have been issues with the O-line all year. A big part of that has been Andrew Thomas being in and out of the lineup. I think that it was very smart for Andrew Thomas to be on a limited snap count in week 3 to make sure he was ready to block for Dart. And the O-line, week 2, when Andrew Thomas was in it, I'm sorry, was he in it week 2? Was he in it?
No, he got in against the Chiefs week 3.
Week 3, okay. Right. So the O-line was still bad, but he was also going in and out of the lineup. The O-line looked significantly better, even though the Chargers got 6 sacks in that game. So it didn't look good, but it looked better than it had when Russ was playing, for the most part, particularly weeks 1 and 3. You saw in week 3 how much of a downgrade it immediately was visible when Andrew Thomas got out of the lineup. And if you would risk him re-injuring that foot, that could have been a disaster for Jackson Dart. He comes into the lineup, and they're not good, but they're comparatively serviceable to the way that they'd been. But I was against it for the reason of, we're going against one of the best teams in the NFL with an O-line that's really questionable. I don't want this to mess with his development. Now, Jackson Dart played very well, and I'm thrilled that he played very well. He played basically just like he had all preseason, where he was the preseason MVP. There is such a thing to be cautiously optimistic. There is such a thing that I've seen myself with the new quarterback or new head coach bump that does happen when teams are learning what your team looks like with this new person in the lineup or calling plays. I mean, Daniel Jones had that when Eli Manning stepped out, and Daniel Jones won his first game as a starter and looked good for significant parts of his rookie season before falling off the following year. Then Daboll and becomes the head coach, and then that's 2022 where he wins Coach of the Year and they make a playoff run, get a playoff win.
Yep.
And then they fall back to earth. Antonio Pierce had that with the Raiders. Like we've seen that, and then it equalizes itself eventually. I'm not saying that that's what Jackson Dart is, but I did think of that possibility going into the game of there might be a new QB bump here that may. I have to see more of it to believe it, but he did play like he had played in the preseason against a really good team, against a really good defense. I mean, did you see it? Did you see the rushing touchdown?
The rushing touchdown was nice.
Yeah, off the QB draw, and the whole team just looked like it had juice. It had life. Russ was sucking the life out of that team, and Jackson Dart put it back in it. Did you see the Dexter Lawrence interception? Did you see? Oh man. Did you see the Andrew Phillips interception? Did you see the sacks from Brian Thomas, from Kayvon Thibodeau?
Andrew Phillips. Bounce back game, because he was getting picked on against Kansas City.
Yeah.
Bounce back game.
Some bullshit calls he didn't deserve.
But
But
he got. Well, I'm saying he got more picked on by the offensive scheme by Kansas City.
Yeah.
He was getting picked on by the refs. So
yeah, no, I mean through his first season and a bit in this season, I mean he's been great. He's been a very underrated corner. And he absolutely proved it. I mean, there should have been 3 with the Deontay Banks interception that got negated with the flag, but that's a lot of interceptions for Justin Herbert of all quarterbacks. But the defense absolutely delivered. Everyone on the defense, Abdul Carter, with all the QB hits. I mean, like this was really his come out game too. Like the entire team just came alive. And Cam Scatteraboo looked awesome too. As he has been
better and better week by week.
Yep, 100%. And oh man, he's just so much fun to watch. And so is Jackson Dart. They run the same way. They run at you, like they don't try to get around you. They just I'm going to run through you.
Now I was surprised. Jackson got 10 carries. I was surprised by that amount.
Yeah, that's Daboll loves that. That's Daboll's QB scheme. A lot of QB runs and QB draws. It worked with Josh Allen. That was a big part of Josh Allen's development. That was a big part of Daniel Jones's good year with the Giants was utilizing that. And Jackson Dart is athletic. He's athletic and he is a good runner and he is tough. He will take hits. I would like him to take less of them.
Yeah. Take less.
So that's my big criticism of him is it's fun to watch and it shows his toughness and I appreciate that, but also we need you on the field, please.
Big facts.
And we're going to be talking about someone who's missing from the field and also the field itself.
We're going to talk about that, but
not to sour me with all this. All this fire right now.
No. I'm not going to sour that. What I'm saying is that all right, I'm just going to say it. Giants of the last 15 years would have lost that game after Malik went out.
Yeah.
They would have lost that game. But we've had conversations. I just think that defense is so talented, and we've had these conversations millions of times. That defense is going to keep the team in the game. And all you need is just enough. No, it's just enough. It ain't got to be pretty.
Yeah. And even with that caveat, Jackson Dart still played well. Like he didn't just play just enough. He played well. And a lot of that was using his legs, which is the valuable part of like your best wide receiver is out, and that really sucks. But and the receiving core outside of that is pretty mid, but you with the run game, there's still things you can do. And he absolutely showed that. I mean, he used a lot of running plays, but not a lot of he wasn't like this insane drop back passing threat. He used a lot of running plays, and that was good. It worked. So if he can still dominate that way with him and Scadaboo as threats when Tracy comes back, him too, you have what's a pretty dynamic offense, and it would be much more dynamic with Neighbors, but with a defense as good as the Giants defense and an offense that can be dynamic like that, like you can win games like that.
Hey, there's two things that are going great for the Giants right now, and I know people are like, oh, they're 1-3. Just hear me out. It's could have won that Dallas game.
And Dart probably would have. He probably wouldn't have thrown that last bonehead interception. He may not have put up about 500 passing yards or 450 passing yards, but he also probably wouldn't have thrown that interception.
You can't poo-poo on the fact that was a full strength Washington team in week 1, and they still had trouble with the Giants. They put up a solid fight against the Chiefs. Still had the Chiefs offense in disarray. So is not all doom and gloom in the Big Apple, if you ask me. Now, I'm not saying people don't quote me, don't misquote me. I'm not saying that Giants are gonna go on a magical run and they're gonna all I'm saying is that what they've shown in 4 weeks is they're gonna fight. And that's all you can really ask for. Yes, do you want your team to win as a fan base? Of course. But you got to put everything in perspective on where do you see this team at now compared to years past on the day ball. And it's starting to look different with the insertion of Jackson Dirt, drafting Scadaboo. I love that guy. I love watching that guy. And nothing like as a football fan, if you don't like watching that guy run, I don't know what's wrong with you. You might check your pulse. You might be dead. I don't know what's up.
Bro, he's football personified for sure.
Thank you. He's the definition of a football player. This man had a dirty jersey on a turf that ain't even grass. Hello.
I love that so much. He fucking rules, bro. Like.
How you got a dirty jersey? We ain't got no real grass out here, man.
Bro, he's the team's mascot. Like he's a fantastic running back, and he's also the team's mascot, man. He fucking rules.
So, but no, I give props where props are due. Giants played a hell of a game. But it does come with some sour news. And now this is the sour part we got to talk about. Yeah. Before we get to the actual injury, I've been screaming to the heavens for the last, since they built MetLife, get rid of that damn turf. Get rid of it. I mean, they've done it. NFL themselves had done the studies on significant injuries compared to grass in the turf. They've done that. And it's not even close on how many more injuries you get more on the turf than you would on natural grass. It's not even close. All right. Take that into effect. And then let's also look at the point where it's not just the Giants who struggle with injuries, the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It's the common denominator. Oh, they play in the same damn building. How about that? Okay. Even if you take the Jets and the Giants out, there's a lot of significant injuries to visiting players that go to that stadium. All right. So what's the common denominator, NFL? Randy, help me out. What's the common denominator with all these serious injuries? I can't put my finger on it. What is
it's the dumb bullshit MetLife turf. And I would go there with pitchforks and torches for what they did to Malik. How dare you? How dare you?
Now, and like I said, I'm not trying to poo-poo on the Giants, but losing him,
oh yeah, for sure, huge loss. And I don't know what kind of devil magic you put on that as soon as we trade and I get him, this happens immediately.
Sidebar, y'all. Malik Neighbors was killing it for me for the first 2 weeks. He did okay week 1. He killed it against Dallas for me. He didn't do much against the Chiefs, and we didn't make the trade, but you already sent it to me. So me and Randy are both in the same fantasy league. And before the Chiefs-Giants game, he sent me that trade. He sent me Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce, and I gave him Malik. And I don't know what the hell happened. What told me to just make the trade? Well, because I only accepted the trade because of the potential of Rashee Rice post suspension. That's the only reason why I took that trade.
Yeah.
And obviously, for those who watched the Sunday night watch along with us, it was, I'm like, damn, man, like, dog, you can see the defense made sure that, hey, focus on number 1 over there. If we take him out, it's a different team. And you got what you got on that Sunday night game. But yeah, man, I don't know. I guess the fantasy guys was on my favorite that day, but because soon as he went down, I texted you.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, no, that's crazy. But like, of course, that's exactly what would happen.
That's a big blow, man.
Yeah, and
if I'm the Giants, come on, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sucks. It's horrible. He's clearly the best player on the offense, and I mean, as far as skill position players go, maybe you can debate him and Thomas, but the skill position players is obviously the best, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. To put up insane stats with bad quarterback play last year, all of that, we know all that.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of ways to get around it, like I said, Jackson Dart with his legs. Week 2 showed that Wan'Dale Robinson can be used as a Malik light when necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Darius Slayton does have some deep threat potential. These are not like adequate 1-for-1 replacements to Malik Neighbors. Obviously, nobody is. But if you need someone to play that role to a lesser degree with a lot of QB draws and sneak plays,
mm-hmm.
then maybe they'll be able to get away with it. I mean, thankfully, we're playing the Saints next week, so that's a good game for us to get a chance to experiment before we have to play real teams.
True.
So yeah, maybe there's something there. Maybe we can do something to fix this.
My biggest problem I got, Randy, how many more significant injuries to your key players are going to happen in that stadium before both Giants and Jets say, hey, we got a common denominator here that's happening to both of our teams in the same building. Damn NFL's, because you don't need NFL's permission to change the surface of your field.
No. We just need a popular uprising. Like, we need to go there with pitchforks and torches.
Where's John Mara at?
With a big guillotine.
Randy, where's John Mara at?
I don't know. He's about to be looking at this guillotine if he doesn't fix this shit quickly. For the FBI, that is a joke. That was a joke.
It was a joke, yeah. But I'm just saying, for real, like at one point, do you say, hey, man, damn the financial part of rather going from turf to field, I ain't giving a damn about that. I'm talking about how many more key players on my team, which is my investment. I know you're going to make money regardless whether you suck or not, but still, I would like to keep my fan base on my side.
Bro, and you make more money when the team is
winning,
competitive. Yeah, bro. Like last year, I went to see the Giants Saints game, and the tickets were like $80. Like, you could sell those for like $200 if you're doing well, or at least competitive. Like, so yeah, they'd make more money if Malik Neighbors wasn't hurt. People go to see Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
People buy Malik Neighbors merch. Like, why are you yes, you will lose from him being on the shelf, even if it's not directly, indirectly.
Mm-hmm. I'm just confused. On what point do you put your foot down as an owner and say, hey, man, enough is a fucking enough. I can't keep losing key players year in and year out, because it happens every year. You're going to lose somebody to that raggedy ass turf. And I'm just like, come on. Even the Jets, you should be raising hell too.
Yeah.
You're often one of the often injured teams because you're playing half your season on that trash field, man.
Aaron Rodgers 2 years ago.
Hello. I don't. You got to say enough is enough, and I need to do something about it. And to be honest, like you said, it might have to be an uprising and say, "Hey, John Mayer, we gonna boycott your ass till you get rid of this shit." I mean, if that's how far you got to take it in this whole beer, I'm just saying he needs to understand, and he can't be oblivious to this. Come on now.
No, he's not. He knows. He's just, cheap like owners are. But yeah, if you're smart, you make the investment.
You cheap bastard. But we'll move on because you're not the only team dealing with some significant injuries. Last night, in a terrible injury, Tyreek Hill went out for the season. I don't think I'll be honest, even if he was still there, the most that the Dolphins would have done was put up numbers, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think they still would have been as competitive as some of your upper echelons, or even your middle of the field teams.
Oh yeah, they're a bottom team with or without him, but they're a bottom team without him.
But I think we got to have this conversation. Tyreek Hill, now 31, significant injury. This is probably his first significant injury in the NFL, if I recall. He'll be 32 at the start of next year. I'm not saying he's done. I'm not saying that. But it's a lot harder to be 32 and think you're still going to have that elite speed with a significant knee injury like that. That's all I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, he has talked before. I think it was before last year where he talked about, like, I'm just going to let this last contract rock. And then after that, like, he was open to the idea of retiring. This might be the thing that pushes him in that direction.
Oh. Ooh. I still think that'd be a kind of a sudden move for your first injury to just go ahead and call it quits, but I understand it. The point
you were already thinking about it before then, and like you hate the team that you're on right now, which he's made very clear.
Yep.
He could always go back for one last run with the Chiefs, like everybody wants.
That's crazy, Randy. Okay, it's funny you said that.
I know. Everyone's been fanficking that.
Oh, no, Randy. I literally came up with a conspiracy theory after that shit happened last night. And I talked to wifey, and I said it on Airhead Cheap Podcast with my man Chris Dow earlier tonight. I said, now, it's just a conspiracy theory. Obviously, there's no validity to it, no substance at all to it. I was just talking. I said, with a significant knee injury to a will-be 32-year-old, I haven't looked at his contract situation. Depending on the guaranteed money left, they might be willing to eat and just say, hey. And then, Chiefs being the Chiefs, hey, Tyreek, do you want a 1-year prove-it deal coming off that knee injury? It's just a conspiracy theory, so it's funny that you said that.
Yes.
Because I don't think it won't happen. I'll be shocked if it happens.
Yeah, I don't think the Dolphins would be willing to eat that for their best player. I think that would be like teams have done that for players with very significant injuries if they don't think they're going to be able to use them. But especially with the Dolphins QB situation always being a question mark and everything, I don't know if they'd be willing to eat it to give up their best player for probably nothing. They're probably going to want to hold out for a haul because he's still valuable. Not as valuable as he was like 2 years ago or whatever, but
true.
You could still get something for him.
I won't be surprised, and this is not a slight on Tyreek. Just him and Tua just weren't on the same page this year. Don't be surprised if Jalen Waddles, or obviously it makes sense now. He's the number one, and he is paid too. They did give him some money.
Which is another issue with the eating cap, because they do have money tied up in other places.
So I'm not sure. Again, just looking at that chemistry that was hard to get together between him and Tua, but Tua's had no problem getting the ball to Jalen Waddle at all this season. That's no problem. So that's just my thoughts. That's why I kind of threw that conspiracy out there, because I'm like, the kind of writing's on the wall that this relationship is fractured, and at some point you just go ahead and sever it. At this point, that gives you an out.
Yeah, I mean, Waddle is a lot like T. Higgins in that he is talented enough where he could be a wide receiver one on a lot of teams. He just hasn't been because Tyreek Hill's been there. But yeah, I mean, if they wanted to get something for Tyreek and wanted Waddle to be the one big, heavy paid wide receiver on the team, I don't think that that's necessarily crazy. You know, like, you still have him, you still have Achane, you know, the skill position issues were not the big issues with this team. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate. I do want to send some good positive vibrations towards Tyreek Hill, because when I saw that injury live, I was like, oh, I had to turn away for a second, because he went this way, his knee went that way, and it was bad. So I don't know how you feel about his reaction after he got up, because I know a lot of people are making kind of narratives around it. I don't know. I'm not reading too much into it. I'm just not. That's just me.
To remind me what he did when he got up.
Well, pretty much once he got on the stretcher, or not the stretcher, but the cart, it was more like he let out like, yes, and he's smiling and he's saying peace to all the fans.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't think that's much either. I think that's just, like, a lot of players will do that just to like keep everyone in good spirits. I don't think that's a sign like, oh, good, I'm finally out or anything. Yeah, I think people are reading too much into that. I agree.
Yeah. Now it is easy to interpret it that way, right? It is, because when you got the circumstances of the fractured relationship between him and Tua and the Dolphins coming into the season, I can see why they made that narrative. But I'm just not one of those people that's going to read too much into it and act like there's such a big hoopla. Like, oh my gosh, Tyreek's happy he's injured. He ain't got to deal with the Dolphins and Tua. I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it is.
No, I don't think that he is happy that his leg is in pieces just to get away from the Dolphins. I think if he had to choose, he'd probably prefer to just play the year out, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to
this year's injury.
Yeah. Shout out to former Giants player for like a little bit, Darren Waller. Looking pretty good.
That man had a nice little SoundCloud rapping career for a hot little minute, and then he said, "Nah, I'm gonna take my ass back to the field."
Yeah, and
great last night.
Looked immediately better than he ever did in our jersey. What a shock! How crazy that is. That's definitely not reflective of a pattern.
No, there's this, Randy. He also wasn't used as a fullback last night neither. So
I know. I fucking.
He also wasn't used as a fullback last night. So
yeah, I don't know. Whoever's decision. I don't know if it was Calf, because I don't know if it was Dayball's, but like, fucking guys, come on.
Matty Metz, what's up, man? Hey, bro. Hey, I talked about it last night, and sorry to get off topic, everybody, but my man Matty Metz, look, I feel for you, bro. If I'm a Mets fan, I'm boycotting next year until y'all show me that you're going to go to the playoffs, because you can't keep outspending the Dodgers. You can't keep being one of the leading teams in payroll, and you can't even get to the playoffs on numerous years. So, yeah, there's that. All right. There's obviously, man, LJ deflate. He's normally great Lamar Jackson, but deflated. He has an injury. He'll hamstring. He'll be out a couple of weeks. They said 1 to 3 weeks. Obviously, one of those is a bye in there, so he'll probably at most miss 2 games. You're dealing with a lot of injuries. But what's different with the Ravens when it comes to injuries? Because we've seen injuries to the San Francisco 49ers on a normal basis. They find a way to still be a competitive team. We've seen it with a couple of years ago, the Browns had everybody hurt. They still make it to the playoffs. So we've seen teams that are just riddled with injuries still be competitive and still keep the main thing. Why are we having such an issue in Baltimore when it comes to injuries and I get it, hey, folks, especially you Ravens flock, don't come at me. I understand your injury list right now. I've seen it just as much as y'all have. But I saw a team in Kansas City go to the Super Bowl with significant injuries too.
Yeah, okay. So nobody, certainly not me, expected the Ravens to look like they've looked. Certainly didn't expect 1 and 3. I think it is important to remember, because I put my power rankings up now in the group earlier today, and I put them in the tier of should be better than they've been, and I still do think that's true. I think that we have to remember that the teams that they lost to are the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs, with Xavier Worthy back. The 49ers have not had to play those teams.
True.
And I do not think they would have won against those 3 teams if those were the 3 teams they played with the injuries they've had and with Mac Jones.
Good point.
Or Brock Purdy even. But that's something that's important, because I mean the Bills game was a miracle, right? Like they should have won that game. I don't think that's reflective. It's reflective of defensive problems, but it's not reflective of the team being bad. That was just insane. And then the Lions and the Chiefs were both the fact that they got absolutely mollywopped by the Chiefs, and then they also got mollywopped by the Lions in the second half. That was really surprising.
Yeah.
With the defensive personnel that they have, you wouldn't expect it. Even, they did have a lot of injuries over time, but their defense was already looking bad before then.
Thank you.
And that's important to remember. But I do think that once Lamar comes back, when they start playing more teams that are like not necessarily Browns level, but even like mid teams, they should be able to. They should have a respectable enough record. They should make the playoffs. They'll probably still win their division, like looking at the state of the Bengals and Browns.
Oh my goodness!
So,
and I'm not sold on the Steelers, Nathan.
No, I'm not sold on the Steelers. I think the Ravens probably still should win their division, but they were the Super Bowl favorites, and they're definitely not now. I don't know how they turn it around here. Aside from just doing shaman rituals to get everyone back, like I don't. And even then, like maybe there's defensive coordinator issues. Maybe it's coaching. Like I don't know. I don't really know. This is one of the weirdest situations of the NFL, that the Ravens are 1 and 3 with the roster they've had, and with Lamar Jackson playing out of his mind for the most part.
You know what, Randy? This is the part of the show that I actually bring up something that we talked about before. That I'm going to give you props, and I was a little shocked. And I don't know if you remember this conversation. A couple of weeks back, we had our, coaches on the hot seat conversation. And there was a name that you brought up. What was that guy's name that you brought up?
John Harbaugh.
Okay. You got to start talking about it now. And not just us on our platform. I'm talking about the narrative and the whole internet. You got to start talking about it now. Because the fact of the matter is, when you don't win the Super Bowl, or don't even get to the Super Bowl when you're at your best, all right? We got to remember 2 years ago when they had the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game in Baltimore, they had a top defense and a top offense. All right. You turn around and you don't get to the Super Bowl. Then the next year, you can't get past Josh Allen. So your take on that one is looking pretty damn juicy and pretty on par right now. Because the fact of the matter is, and almost a similar conversation that I when I brought up Sean McDermott. When you can't get past that same hump, and he can't get past two humps over and over and over and over again, at some point, all right, this voice, the head coach, he's either not motivating the locker room enough, or they're starting to tune him out. At some point, management, you might have to have your conversation in your inner circle and say, hey, man, we love John. Thank you for the Super Bowl in the early 2000s, 2012, 2013. Thank you. It was good. Thank you. You made Joe Flacco a Super Bowl champion. Thank you. Sent Ray Lewis out on a high note. Thank you. Ed Reed. Thank you. But you've been there for a minute now, John. And that Super Bowl was 12 years ago. I have since hung my jersey up in the rafters. I don't want to be a player no more. I got a whole family now. That's how long it's been. And I got a 10-year-old. That's how long it's been. So we've seen this before with coaches who've had a good amount of success, and John Harbaugh's had his fair share of success as the coach of the Ravens. But at some point in time, the same show ain't the same show. It's stale. It's stale.
And it's a lot like this is, I think, a really good parallel. This is like the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. It's a very similar situation where you're still winning a lot. You're still, I mean, not this season so far, but overall, you're still winning a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You're still making the playoffs. You're still getting some playoff wins, but you need someone who can get you to the final stretch. And John Harbaugh has not proven to be that guy. And it's one thing because a lot of hot seat lists just have the coaches of whoever are the worst teams. Mm-hmm. And there's reasons for that. But it's one thing to be, I don't know, Dave Canellis, who's coaching a horrible roster.
Yeah.
Where you're going to get some leeway. Like, well, what are you supposed to do with that team?
Exactly.
John Harbaugh has a great roster, and he's had a great roster for years now.
Years.
And poor playoff performances, losing games you shouldn't lose. It's a lot harder to excuse it when you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. I mean, like, their biggest issue last year was the passing defense, and they addressed it. They drafted Malachi Starks in the first round of the draft. They got Jair Alexander in the offseason, and you also need to, I think that's a good sign, that it's a sign that when a team is giving up on a player that's on paper a good player, very often there's a good reason for it.
Yeah.
And the Packers clearly, I was skeptical of the decision to not pick up a single cornerback in the offseason and after giving up Jair Alexander, but they've absolutely been proven right. Keyshawn Nixon has been playing out of his mind, and Jair Alexander has been bad.
The first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
This was great.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about Keyshawn Nixon specifically.
Yeah, I got
yeah. He's, all the passes defended. Meanwhile, Jair Alexander, even when he was there, was a ghost. So when teams give up on a big name player, a lot of the times you probably should believe them. But yeah, no, I think that I don't know who would be his replacement. We'll see who's available when it's time, but I think that I think you need someone else to get you over the hump. Like you can't give up this roster with nothing and not make a final push. You don't know how, Derrick Henry could retire next year for all we know. Like you have the roster. Make sure you use it.
Look, man, it ain't 2013 no more, John. It ain't. Like I can't keep giving John Harbaugh the grace of continuing with the Ravens when it's like, bro, okay, you did what you did in 2013. That was 2013. We're in a whole different decade. Right? Like, we even seen Andy Reid get fired. You're not immune to losing your job. We seen top coaches still get fired. You're not immune to losing your job. I mean, I just sometimes when you hit a glass ceiling, you got to change the house. You got to change the house. And I know a lot of fans, or especially Ravens fans, saying, "Hey, man, let's blow up this squad." They're definitely not satisfied with Marlon Humphrey right now. He need to stay off that damn podcast. But let's have this conversation about Lamar, because obviously we've been on part of the, hey, I need to get off Lamar about the passing. All right, what more do you need? He gets the most accurate record. Okay, cool. All right, so that narrative to me is dead, and we've established that.
Yeah. If you're still using the Lamar as a running back, blind, you don't know football. You're
lame. But this conversation has always been there. This narrative, but now it's getting louder when it comes to Lamar Jackson and winning the big games. And it bothers me that the narrative is there, but I understand why it's there, because it's happened over and over and over again where, and I get it. They say it's a hamstring. He'll be out 2 to 3 weeks. But take that first drive out against the Chiefs on Sunday. Lamar Jackson was pretty pedestrian in that game.
It was. No, it's true. And it's a mixed bag, because earlier in his playoff career, I think he deserved the playoff Lamar title. He definitely did over time become a better big game player. You can see it, right? Like, he was winning more. Like, his playoff record gradually, it was very bad in his first couple of playoff starts, and the past couple of years it was better. He won a playoff two years ago when they were the 1 seed. He won the playoff game handily against the Texans, and then a lot of stuff didn't work in his favor. The really dumb Zay Flowers couple of moments there, like, he kind of got screwed in that game. Didn't play incredible, but that wasn't the reason they lost either. And then you have last year where they win a playoff game, and then they go against the Bills. He has a bad first half, and then he has a really good second half, and then Mark Andrews drops the ball. Right. Mm-hmm. So there are times where it was his fault. There were a lot of times where it wasn't his fault. If you look at this year, it was not his fault. For the Bills, it was not his fault for the Lions.
I agree.
It was that, and it's so weird because they did throw so much at the pass defense, and that was the point I was trying to get to, and I kind of got a roundabout way of getting to that. But they threw many assets at it, and it looks basically the same, if not worse. Nate Wickens has been playing well, but outside of that, they're bigger names than him haven't been that good. I mean, it does make sense to look at the coaching and being like, you got all this talent, all these names. You got Kyle Hamilton, you got Malachi Starks, you got Jair Alexander, you got Marlon Humphrey back there. Like, what's the deal? And it's just I said this when we covered the game originally, but the way he played in the Bills was absolute Jerry West winning the Finals MVP on the losing team type of play, where you could not have asked Lamar to play a better game, and then they lost anyway. And then the Lions, he played very, very well, and just the defense just kept giving up points. Sometimes it isn't his fault, and you have to be able to look at each game and be like, okay, was this actually his fault individually, or was he just on the losing team? And he gets blamed a lot because people are that's already their prior. They're already predisposed to looking at him being like, he's a bad game quarterback.
Good point.
And even when it's not his fault, he will get the blame for it.
Hey, and unfortunately, and that's why I say that's the unfortunate part, is because when you play quarterback in the NFL, You're going to get the praise when you're winning. You're definitely going to get the blame when you're losing. That's just part of the court.
I mean,
And
what, like 10 touchdowns, no picks? Like, I'm sure it was
he just
through
threw his
the
first
season.
interception on Sunday. Just threw his first interception.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like through this first 3 weeks. And now he has the interception. But I mean, you can't ask for a better touchdown interception ratio that he's had, and yet still 1-3. Like, how is that him?
Yeah, and
how is it his fault? Derrick Henry keeps fumbling.
Oh, and and low key, I think John is losing faith in Derrick. It was a 3rd and 1 in that game. You know who wasn't on the field?
Yeah,
Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm. They've been using Justice Hill more.
Yeah, and that's not a slight on him, because I think Justice Hill is a solid change of pace RB2. That's his job. It's always been.
He's one of the better RB2s in the NFL.
I agree, 100,000%. But the fact that you didn't put Derrick Henry in on a short yardage situation, and to be honest, and historically, Derrick Henry doesn't normally have good games against Spags and the Chiefs, but the guy was averaging 5.3 yards a clip. He only had 8 carries. Now, I'm not a GM. I'm not a coach. I don't get paid millions of dollars to make these decisions. But there's one thing that I do know. And I watch a lot of football in my 38 years on this earth. Fact of the matter is, when you see a guy that's averaging 5.3 yards a carry on 8 carries, 42 yards, I kind of might want to keep feeding that guy the ball. Just saying. Mm-hmm. And I understand. Fumbles happen. But when this guy is producing like that, and you go away from him, that's telling on how your coaching staff feels about you. That's how I'm taking it. So
yeah, and that it does hurt the whole team when he's not playing at his best, because the big point of bringing him in to put next to Lamar is you have the most insane running back and running quarterback duo you could possibly ask for, and nobody knows how to defend both of them. If you're not sure what you're doing with Derrick Henry, when he's on the field, he's fumbling, and then you have to take him off the field, you're losing that element. And not that Lamar's always needed it, but that has absolutely unlocked both of them and taken both of them to the next level. So yeah, I mean, you're losing that, and that, that sucks.
Yeah. But when it comes to the Ravens, and I think that's what I said is the unfair part about putting all the blame on Lamar, because he has been playing well. But I think the bigger injury is that Matabike. That, and now he's done for the season. That's more to me. That's and not people don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is important, and he plays the most important position. Mm-hmm. But you can see how when Matabike ain't there, how easy it is to run on this team. And if you can't find at least an adequate solution, teams are going to continue to repeat the same trend. They're going to keep running the ball down your throat, and they're going to say, hey, all right, I'll take a 16 play drive, eat up 11 minutes, and keep Lamar's ass on the bench. And there's nothing you can do about it. Not a damn thing. So I think that Matabike injury is more significant than what the Ravens are trying to lead on, because I don't think they have this. Obviously, they don't have the solution in the building, because since he's been out the last few weeks, they've been getting just dog walked on the running game. So you got to do something. Got to do something. Let's round up week 4. Some of the bigger headlines. I talked about it last night. I don't know how you feel about it. Get rid of these fucking ties. All right.
Yeah. No, the NBA is double overtime. I don't know why the NFL can't. Just keep going.
Randy, they don't have ties in high school football. Hey, Randy, they don't have ties in college football. Why on a professional level? And I said this before on other podcasts, between now and Sunday, since it happened. If I'm a professional athlete and think about all the sacrifices you make as a professional athlete. You're sacrificing time away from family and friends. You're sacrificing your body. You're putting blood, sweat, and tears in this shit, trying to get your body in peak. Well, majority of professional players try to get their body in peak shape. And why the hell am I doing all this? To go fucking die. You play to win the game. Herm Edwards did not make that quote to say you play to win. No, ain't no play to tie the game. He said a quote that said you play to win the game. Hello? Why are we still tying?
Yeah, no, I don't understand that at all. However, if you remember my predictions for the season,
you, sir, should be a millionaire right now. You had put that on the slip.
I can't believe I didn't. That's crazy.
I'm gonna peel the curtain back for the audience. Obviously, me and Randy are in contact through the week pretty often, and he actually put this on the show, and we put it up coming into the season when he predicting everybody's record. Guess who he gave the ties to? Just take a guess, y'all. Oh, the game you just saw Sunday night. Literally. Called it.
I am an oracle and a sorcerer. And I have proven this. I have given evidence of this.
You should have put that on a slip, my dog. Oh, my God.
I can't believe it. And the thing is, the reason why I didn't was because that was my pre-Micah Parsons trade prediction.
Way before the Parsons trade was thought of going through.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked it. No, I would have picked the Packers winning. No, after the trade. But the fact that the trade happened and then they still tied, what does that say about the Packers? Okay, so let's talk about the Packers a little bit. They were talked about after week 2 as like, oh, this is like this is the team that might come out of the NFC. Mm-hmm. And then now they lost to the Cleveland Browns and then they tie with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah. I'll be honest. Of course, them losing to Cleveland, I was semi-surprised. And only reason why is because I figured that they would muster up enough offense to win the game, and they only put up 10 points. And that, to me, that's just more credit to how great that Cleveland Browns defense is. Because I think if you ask me right now, if you're talking about best defenses, I can't go past the Cleveland Browns as the first mention. They're phenomenal. All right.
Yeah.
There's some other defenses. I love the Houston Texans defense. They're phenomenal.
There's that New York Giants defense.
New York Giants defense is pretty good. But when it comes right now, I don't think there's a better defense than Cleveland. Now
they're literally keeping that what might be the worst offense in the NFL in games. Like that's insanely impressive. Like Myles Garrett needs to have a lot of looks for D point just for that alone. Like he's the reason the team is winning ever.
Randy, I even watched that Browns-Ravens game. They actually played pretty well against Lamar and them. The score doesn't reflect it, but if you watch the game, there was some bad turnovers from Flacco in that offense that gave a short field to Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. And you keep that no matter – we've seen this a million times in the NFL, Randy. It don't matter how good your defense is. If they're on the field for the majority of that time of possession, losing that battle, and your offense, which is already anemic as it is, and you're not on the field, the only thing that the Browns defense can do now is go score themselves.
Dude, I was just about to say that. Like if I'm thinking correctly, are the majority of their points not either from the defense or from the defense setting up a short field or special teams? Like the offense is responsible for a minority of their points, I believe, which is insane. Mm-hmm. Like, and then if you just do quarterback play, like if you just do passing game, if you take Quinshon Judkins out of it, Joe Flacco is responsible for almost none of their points. That's crazy.
So, I'm not going to poo-poo on the Packers for losing that game. But I am going to poo-poo on the fact that you have been one of the better defenses for the first 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you totally disappeared and got 40 hung on you. And had no, I was just flabbergasted. I'm like, what the hell is going? Whatever slip I put in for that game, it was already done by halftime because I already knew because like these jokers ain't stopping shit. How do you play like that for the first 3 weeks and then turn around on the big stage? And I give the Cowboys credit because, I think, and we, we haven't had this conversation yet. I'll give Brian Schottenheimer a little bit more credit than what I thought he was going to be as a head coach for the Cowboys. He's got the players buying in. Obviously, they got a problem on defense. They're not stopping nobody, but it's the fact that he was able to take because I don't think he's really doing anything spectacular with that offense, but he's modernizing it and using his weapons. And of course, George Pickens, you can have that debate. He could still be a number one on a lot of other teams. Mm-hmm. They were still minus CeeDee Lamb. And I'm just like, Packers, what? Y'all did it. Y'all did it to us again. You hyped us up, and you're slowly letting us down.
Yeah, that's we've talked about that with the volatility of Jordan Love. I mean, we've seen so much of a great game or a couple of great games and then a bad game or a couple of bad games. In this case, I don't think he had like a horrible game, but like what people talk about him as if he's like about to emerge into that top level of quarterbacks. But if he doesn't maintain consistency, no, he won't. Like he's just not at that level. He has that potential. I mean, the playoffs where he beat the Cowboys with like an insane passer rating and then lost the 49ers game immediately after with a game-losing interception. Like that's the Jordan Love experience. He's ironically kind of like Brett Favre in that way.
Hey yo. No, and as I'm going through his game logs, obviously, week 1 against Detroit, that's you're still trying to figure out exactly who the hell you are. 16 of 22. I'm sorry, 16 of 22, 188 yards. So he's accurate, but he didn't blow the roof off. He made the right plays. All right. Yeah. Week 2, he still puts up touchdowns. He threw 2, no interceptions still. 19 of 31. Little less accurate, a little bit more yards, but and then you look what he did against a good defense, and 18 of 25, fairly accurate, 183 yards, not spectacular. Then he starts turning the ball over. There's an interception in that game. I just think for me, I've seen a lot of good Jordan Love versus mediocre at best piss poor defenses. I'm not seeing enough good Jordan Love against better to elite defenses. And that's the disconnect where I'm at with Jordan Love. And I think that's what speaks to that volatile up and down play of him is like, okay, yeah, hey, beat up on these trash ass defense. Cool. You're supposed to do that. I need you, Jordan Love, to like that playoff game against that run that he went on when they beat the Cowboys, went into Texas State and beat the shit out of them, and then he disappears against 49ers, had some bad decisions, especially late in that game, and then they're out in the playoffs. So it's like, come on, Jordan Love. You find your consistent spot, do your best to stay there, and just keep performing like that. And we're not getting that yet.
Yeah, Jordan Love might be the perfect, like if you're looking for like a perfect median, like a perfect line for determinant of whether a quarterback is good or bad or not, Jordan Love might be the perfect line to make that divide between where like if you're better than him, then you're a really good quarterback or a good quarterback. If you're worse than him, then you're a bad quarterback. Like he's that perfect line. And he benefits a lot, I think, because Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers surpassed him and people are expecting that, okay, this has to be the next great quarterback. He benefits a lot from that performance against the Cowboys, who, I mean, it's the playoff Cowboys. He benefits from stuff. And now he's benefiting from having a great defense. Although because the defense hasn't been as great in the last week, Dak put up 40 without CeeDee Lamb on that defense. If that defense doesn't hold, that's going to be an issue for Jordan Love. And that's I don't know how much you trust it if the defense isn't keeping the score low for him. Also, I want to talk about this. How do you almost blow it by not calling the timeout at the end? How do you almost Eberflus it?
No, that was a crazy way to categorize that, but that is so funny. And no, that was like, I was looking like, yo, what are y'all doing? Like, are y'all trying to lose this game? Like, I get it, nobody wants to tie, but it's better than taking an L. Bro,
yeah, for real. They had no time to throw. The fact that he managed to get 1 second left is a miracle. They should not have won that. They should not have managed to get that last second. But they almost blew the game with just bad clock management.
Yeah. You know who else blows? Chip Kelly as offensive coordinator.
Oh, we're talking. All right, cool. Great segue.
You know who blows is Chip Kelly as an offensive coordinator, or him coaching. Period in the NFL. Shout out to my man Chris Dow. He brought that up, and it needs to be said. He's a great recruiter in college. He's had his time in college where he'll put some damn good teams together. But he ain't never cut it in the NFL, whether he was a head coach or a coordinator. He ain't it. And the fact that he thought that he knew so much football more than Ashton Genty, says, hey, Ashton, we're going to draft you in the top 10. But what got you here? Scrap that. And then Ashton Genty said, hey, Chip Kelly, I'm going to run this ball the same way that got me here. And poof, look what happened. Ain't that something?
Immediately looked like a top 5 running back.
He looked good.
And even with a still not a good offensive line.
Oh, no, it's piss poor. And they just lost Colton Miller, who's their best tackle, and it's gotten worse.
Yeah. And Ashton Genty performed like that behind that offensive line. So yeah, that was the problem. It's crazy how immediate of a fix it was for him to just go back to the thing that was working.
What got him to the dance should have never been taken away from him. You got to stay with what got you to the dance. And I'm pretty sure that, and I think Ashton Genty, when he probably, and obviously I'm not in the know, but I'm willing to bet, because we're all humans, and I like the psychology of things. I'm willing to bet that Ashton Genty was perplexed when Chip Kelly probably came to him and said, "Hey, man, why do you stand like that? No, stand like this." And he probably looked at him like, and to be honest, I'm just going to say this: Ashton Genty should have fought that from the beginning and said, "Hey, I trust me. I need you as my coach to trust me that what you're trying to do to me ain't it. He should have pushed back from the beginning." And I get it. He's probably a rookie. Well, he is a rookie, and he probably didn't want to, rock the boat. And I understand that. Didn't want to cause no strife or no problems. And I get that. Mm-hmm. But when you know you're right, fight. When you know you're right.
Right. And Pete Carroll, who I have a lot of respect for as a coach, letting that happen.
Oh my gosh. Good point. To me, it's kind of showing that Pete Carroll should have never came back.
I think that's a big oversight. Do you, like him allowing it to happen is a big oversight. Do you think that he's like a problem with the Raiders right now?
I just think he just wasn't fit to come back and coach any team.
Okay.
Pete Carroll, all props to him. Won a national championship, won a Super Bowl, knows how to coach football. But the writing was on the wall when he was leaving Seattle that, hey, I can't relate to these players no more. And I don't care how many videos the Raiders PR and social media team want to keep showing him running around with the football and trying to have fun with the team. No, bro, you are almost 80, bro. And last thing I need you to do is keep running around and get your ass crippled and trying to get some kind of spark or favoritism with the team. Oh, he's such a team coach. He's such a player coach. Man, bump that. You are, your style of coaching is so outdated right now. And it's kind of like, Pete, you probably should have set this one out. You would look. Your career is your career, and I'm not saying he's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, but I will give him his props that he's one of those honorable mention coaches where, hey man, he's always, for the most part, had some good teams, good runs, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Don't come back and fuck all that up.
So I do have to say this also. My Oracle sorcery does have limits because I was wrong about something. When I saw the Pete Carroll Geno Smith connection come back, and when the Seahawks moved from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, my assumption was that was going to be a win for the Raiders and a loss for the Seahawks because Carroll was the head coach that helped revive Geno, and Sam Darnold was going to be going into what was a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
And not a Pete Carroll head coach situation. Like, I didn't think Sam Darnold going into that situation was going to replicate what happened with Geno Smith in that same situation when it was controlled by Pete Carroll. So far, outside of week 1, where Geno was good and Sam Darnold was bad, Sam Darnold has looked like the better of the two.
Yes.
The offensive line in Seattle has looked better.
Yes.
And what I think that tells me, because Geno Smith also was better in his last year in Seattle with Pete Carroll already gone than he is now. What that tells me is that what was helping Geno and what is now helping Sam is the organizational structure in Seattle that Pete Carroll couldn't bring with him. And I do think that is showing. I do think that's showing in the fact that Sam Darnold is basically playing as well as Geno did in Seattle, and Geno got worse. What do you think of that? Do you agree with that?
You can't take an organization like the Raiders and think that you can just put makeup on it and think it's just going to get better. That's like putting literally makeup on an ugly bitch. And I'm sorry, you rub the makeup off on her, or even if you put it on, she's still an ugly motherfucker. The Raiders organization is one of the most poorly ran organizations over the last 25 years. Ran poorly. Make terrible decisions. They're not good at drafting. They're not good at putting their money allocate. They just cut a man that they paid last year in Wilkins and cut him before the season.
For kissing people.
Well,
it was just, I mean, fair enough. That is what it was, right? I think, I think that was the rumor.
That was part of it, and they also was mad that he wouldn't take the surgery. So there was some disagreement on that. But when you have been poorly ran for so long, and it's similar to what I was saying about the Jets, because watching the Jets, I think there's actual promise with Aaron Glenn. And there's potential that can be something. And Justin Fields actually played a great game Monday night.
Yeah.
When you have something that looks promising and the future looks bright, but it gets dimmed immediately because of the transgressions of your history of how it's been, that's what you get with the Jets. And that's what you're going to get with the Raiders. When you have been ass for so long, I don't care what you put in that building. and think that it's going to change anything, but it's not, because the foundation of what it is still there. That foundation of the Raiders is still trash, and it's still there. And I'm talking about you, Mark Davis, the owner. You suck as owner, because you can't put the right GM in the seat. You're having a almost a Barnum and Bailey go around at the head coach position. Damn sure having a problem at the quarterback position. So it's like no matter who you put in there, if you still run it the same way and still treat it the same way, and this is where Tom Brady is going to have to voice his opinion a lot more as a minority owner, if he's really serious about it,
and if he knows what he's doing, right? Because we can't assume that he even knows what he's doing.
Facts. He has no credibility of saying that he's a great owner of an NFL team. No credibility at all. And we're not just going to use your credibility as your playing days as Tom Brady as that stick that you know what the hell you're doing when it comes to running the front office. Go ask Michael Jordan how that shit worked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So look, and it sucks because obviously me being a Chiefs fan, I can't stand the Raiders. I despise them. They're wasting a solid defense right now, which has normally been their weakness the last few years.
Yeah, and was expected to be again.
It was exactly. I expected that defense to be piss poor. That defense is actually pretty solid, but you're not going to help yourself. You're losing to the Bears by 1 point because your quarterback has thrown 3 interceptions, 3 bonehead interceptions. And my man Omar, at Ball and Buzz. Oh, he in the building. What's up, O? What's good? He says stupid comments wouldn't show with curse words. Talking ish about my second bottom feeder, bitch. Yeah, he's a Raiders fan.
Gotcha.
It's to me, you can't continue to do the same shit over and over and just think you're just going to swap out personnel, coaches, and think it's going to change anything. You're asking for failure, and it sucks because you're actually wasting a good defense right now.
And I guess that might be the Pete Carroll bump. The thing that Pete Carroll can hang his hat on is, he was the godfather of the Legion of Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Coming over here, and that was probably a big reason why they chose him. In addition to his pedigree, was their biggest issue was the defense, specifically the secondary. Obviously their quarterback thing was its own thing, but they seemingly fixed that, and they gave him weapons with Genty and Bowers. So they were looking at the defense, and that might be why they chose Pete Carroll. And Pete Carroll has seemingly made the defense better. But surprisingly, the offense, which people didn't think was going to be as big of a problem, that's been the problem.
It's bad.
Now, will it still be a problem now that Ashton Genty has been unlocked? We'll have to see. Now that teams know that he is a serious threat, they may not have been, after seeing how it was in his first 3 weeks, they may not have been prepping for him. Now they're gonna be for sure.
You're damn right.
That affects it. We'll see how that affects their offensive limitations. But yeah, no, I did notice that as like, well, you swapped out Geno for Darnold, and Darnold looks better than Geno. So, and they have your old head coach. So we found where the good thing was and what the problem was.
Hey man, the Raiders are Michael Jordan in the Wizards uniform. They are not Michael Jordan in the Bulls uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all let that shit sink in. Your former quarterback.
Hold on. I just wanted to say one more thing on that. Obviously Jackson Dart and Cam Scattergood are going to be winning co-offensive rookie of the year, but there are a couple of other ones that are worth talking about as potential runner-ups. Ashton Genty, obviously one of them now. Now that he's been unlocked, he's looking incredible. Emeka Egbuka, also been phenomenal as an offensive rookie.
Baller. What is up with the Ohio State fucking pipeline of wide receivers? What are they? First of
It's
all,
LSU and Ohio State. Those schools just like factories for them.
factories. There was a point in time I would have put Alabama in there too, but lately, at least the last 3 years, it's been LSU and Ohio State. My thing is how do they continue to just keep producing stuff? First of all, if I'm an NFL coach, I'm poaching the shit out of who's that wide receiver coach? Who is that wide receiver coach? You gotta come to my staff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't keep sitting here seeing all. And granted, Ohio State is always going to get a cream of the crop of when it comes to recruiting. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But damn it, when it comes to if you want a wide receiver, it's two schools you know who to go. It's almost similar like, hey, when I need an offensive lineman, there's certain schools I know I need to go to. They gonna produce it. Ibuka is crazy good right now. I didn't expect this, but like,
yeah.
Damn.
And I didn't like the Buccaneers draft pick, not because I didn't think Ibuka was good, because I know Ibuka is good. I'm just gonna
shut up.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I knew Ibuka was good. I knew Ibuka was going to be good, but I thought the Buccaneers had more pressing needs than wide receiver. But their wide receiver group was old. Godwin had the serious injury last year. Mike Evans has been out. It really, and it may have just been kind of like a hindsight thing, but it really did end up being exactly the right draft pick. You know, from a process standpoint at the time, was it the smartest choice? Maybe I would say probably still no, but it really worked out as the right choice to make, because what would Baker Mayfield be without Evans, Godwin, and Ibuka right now?
And as much as I've been loving what Baker's been doing since he's been in Tampa Bay, Ibuka is especially these last 4 games has helped immensely. One rookie wide receiver who ain't doing too hot. He's playing with your former quarterback in Indy. A lot of noise been on AD Mitchell's head, dog. And look, I get it. I know football fans, y'all ready to jump down, especially Colts fan. It's split down the middle. I've seen it on both sides on social media. Half of them ready to get rid of the rookie. Other half are like, hey, man, chill out, bro. Like, he's a rookie. Like, I don't know what happened. Some people who aren't a fan of him now, they're trying to say, oh, he's trying to showboat and drop the ball.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
That's what it looked like. But I don't know if that was really his intentions. But it's kind of hard to, gauge a player's intentions on their helmet and watching it on TV. But it does look like that he was trying to, play with the football and it fell out. That was a bad play. But more people are more mad about that. He took another touchdown off the board.
He's single-handedly responsible for 14 points being subtracted from the goal. And honestly, and I don't say this lightly, and I don't say this for every kind of mistake. These are cuttable offenses. These are cut for a player who's had his issues with these kinds of plays before. And it's not like you'd be cutting prime Randy Moss, all right? This isn't Justin Jefferson. This is AD Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Making an example out of him by cutting or trading him if someone would be willing to, I might look at that after this.
And I misspoke. Hey, this is AD Mitchell's second year, so I apologize for that, folks. So
yeah. Right. Yeah, second year. Yeah, I mean, if it were me, honestly, I would be seriously considering getting rid of him. Just for that, to make an example. Don't ever do this. If you wait until you are the turf below your feet has changed color before you do anything.
You know what's crazy? He was actually having a good game.
Yeah.
If you take out the fumble, you take out the penalty, He actually had a solid game. 4 catches, 96 yards. Was doing his thing. It was just like, damn, bro. We're still doing this in 2025 where ball carriers aren't securing the football across the goal line. Is baffling to me. Like this is something that they teach you in fucking Pop Warner is to hold on to the damn fucking football. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, bro, it was a bad play. But speaking of the coach, I actually think, I think this game was more telling because they finally faced the defense. Well, they did face the Broncos defense and they got the win, and they could have easily lost that one too. But this is the part where I'm still on that bias beware on Daniel Jones in coach uniform.
I'm so glad you set me up. You teed me up perfectly for exactly what I was about to say. Indiana Jones is dead. It's over. It's over. It's cool that they can beat up on the lowly Miami Dolphins and the lowly Tennessee Titans, who are probably the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they can win off of a bullshit leverage penalty against the Broncos. It's, that's cool and all, but that is not proof that you are ready to be any kind of serious team. They might still win their division.
Oh, they win the division. That division's trash.
Yeah, no, the division's trash.
Division's trash.
I mean, yeah, Jaguars have been kind of mid in their games, but they've had easy opponents. The Titans are probably the worst team in the NFL. They were mine when I did my power rankings, and most power rankings have them as the worst team. Even their quarterback thinks they ass. And the Texans still need to figure out their offensive line. Although they did beat up on the Titans, we'll see if whatever kind of momentum that could potentially give them. But the Colts might win their division, but they're going one and done against almost anybody that could end up being their opponent. I don't see them pulling off a playoff win, even if they win. They might win that division with a losing record. Like, that's how bad the division is. So Indiana Jones is dead. The Giants won and Daniel Jones lost in the same week. So since everyone after week 1 was ready to be like, see, the problem was the Giants, it wasn't Daniel Jones. Well, look at week 4 and then tell me the same thing. Jackson Dart looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he won against the Chargers.
And to even further that point about it wasn't even Malik Neighbors went to bat for Daniel Jones. I thought that was kind of odd how that comment came about, but I will say that it's just look, just like we had we just talking about how the Jets and the Raiders, functionally, if they've been piss poor, I don't care what happens, it's going to be hard to break that mold. Daniel Jones has always been a middle of the pack quarterback at best. Now I will say I think a lot of credit needs to go to Shane Steichen for actually putting him in better positions to play well, and also give Chris Ballard, the GM, credit. Gave him an offensive line. Obviously, it helps when you got Jonathan Taylor back there, and gave him some solid weapons in Pittman. Love that Ty Warren pick. That's looking good.
Yeah, that's looking good. Also, speaking of Jonathan Taylor, like potential offensive player of the year candidate through these 4 weeks, he's been incredible. Leading the league in rushing so far.
But we shouldn't be shocked. He didn't go nowhere.
No, I know. I mean, he's always really good. I mean, he was top 5 in rushing last year. Just, I mean, to be the best so far, probably. He's really good. Deserves a lot of credit for that.
Nah, for sure.
So it certainly helps Daniel.
Yeah. I'm glad the Rams bounced back because they should be 4-0. Point blank period. They had that game against Philly. They should have won. Speaking of Philly, what are you making of this whole AJ Brown encrypted message? And he seems unhappy. And I had this conversation with my man Chris earlier, and he put me hip on this point, and I'm gonna drop what he said. Because I was like, because my point is, hey, if I'm an NFL player and I'm getting paid nice, I just won a Super Bowl. Yes. We're still in conversation to be one of the Super Bowl contenders. Okay, cool. I'm not getting my targets. What the hell am I bitching about? But my man Chris put me on game, and I can't believe this went over my head, and I never thought about this tape. At one point, that contract for A.J. Brown is going to expire, and he's going to want to get re-up. And Philly's going to look at it, hey, bro, your production ain't been looking too good. Why would I pay you? And I did not put that 1 and 2 together. And I'm glad that my man Chris said that, because we can't put it past these franchises to say, why would I pay you this? Look at your numbers.
Yeah, and this probably is why they're doing it. I mean, I know that they like to have Jalen Hurts just kind of rush and then pass every now and again when he needs to, but A.J. Brown was still getting quality production for most of his years there, and then to get like this, yeah, they are probably sabotaging him. And good. I hope they do that. And then A.J. Brown,
and then you right there, bro.
A.J. Brown's gonna be pissed. And guess who he's gonna go to? Guess what team really needs a wide receiver, since theirs just got hurt with an ACL?
Man, come on, man. They ain't gonna let that man go to and torch them for 2 games every year. Ain't no.
I mean, it's happened. It has happened in the NFC East.
No, you're right. You're right. But I just think that the Eagles have they're a more competent ran organization than to do that. Like, that has Jerry Jones stupidity written all over that. All right. Yeah. And by the way, I can't stand Nick Sirianni. I have never been a fan of Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, not fuck Nick Sirianni.
But damn it, the moment that motherfucker did the damn tush push formation and did that sweep out of it, I literally screamed. I said, "Oh Lord, they're doing different plays out of that formation. That makes that play even more dangerous." I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, like, really think about it. When you play the Eagles, fuck, I gotta defend this tush push. All right, here they go. They're lining up in it. It's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. I gotta deal with this fucking tush push. Out the backfield, here comes a sweep from fucking Saquon Barkley to an empty field. Empty. Mm-hmm. You got a game plan for that shit now. Now they're gonna run all types of shit out that formation now.
I'm saying we tried to ban it. Like, this could all the NFL teams.
I told you, get rid of it. I told you.
I told them. These NFL teams that voted to keep it.
Other 10 teams that didn't vote it. Look at you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now you got to worry about that. Should have listened. But speaking of Super Bowl contenders, since you brought that up with the Eagles, who would you say are the clear Super Bowl contenders at this point? Like through the first 4 weeks.
I know it ain't looking pretty, but I'm gonna still put the Eagles in the conversation, and here's why. They're doing literally what the Chiefs did last year. It ain't pretty. It's just winning. Mm-hmm. Because it ain't pretty what they're doing on offense at all.
No. They won all of their games by 1 possession so far.
It ain't pretty.
A lot of bullshit happening to the other team ended up getting them a lot of those wins.
Block field goal.
Fumble.
Does that not remind y'all of Chiefs last year? It ain't pretty. It's just winning. So unfortunately, I still got to put them in that window. Obviously, until Bills by default are going to be in that window. We're gonna Bills Mafia. If you come here, have a seat. You're going to do the same thing that you've been doing the last few years again. You're going to win 12, 13 games. That's fine. Because your division ain't so good. So there's easy 6 wins right there. Did anybody look at their schedule? I need people to go look at the Bills schedule and look how cupcake that motherfucker is. And that's supposed to be a first place schedule. That looks like a last place schedule. They are playing some fucking cupcakes.
It's the schedule my Giants should have had. Like why do we have the worst schedule and a team that was just in the AFC Championship game as this?
All right, so I got it pulled up. Let's run it down real quick. Obviously, I think the Patriots are improved 2-2. They're in Buffalo this Sunday night. I still favor Buffalo. All right. Atlanta, Carolina, Miami. All right. Those are your next 3 games. All right. Oh, my fault. Before Miami, Kansas City. All right. So there's your first test. So in those 4 games, there's one true test in there. All right. You get Buccaneers. So there's a test right there. Texans. Anybody feel the Texans are worth the threat right now? I mean, the defense is good, but they're going to have to score. That offense is putrid.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh. Anybody got faith in that 3-1 Pittsburgh right now? Anybody? Can I get some show of hands who got faith? Nah, my hand ain't going up. I ain't got no faith in that 3-1 Pittsburgh team.
I have one Steelers fan that always bothers me on my predictions who it would be the one guy to raise it. So if David is watching, I hear you. I hear your hand going up.
And that's fine. But look, the Steelers are going to back their way into a wild card spot like they normally do, but it ain't. They really ain't. Come on. Okay, Bengals. Anybody feel threatened by the Bengals right now?
With Jake Browning?
With Jake Browning? They got 2 highly paid wide receivers who look depressed on the sideline. Highly paid. There's at least like $400 million of depression right there, bro. I'm being for real.
That's such a funny phrase.
People not see their faces yesterday on that damn pitch. Like, yo, bro.
That is not the Jake Browning from 2 years ago either.
But to be fair, and I understand what you're saying, but if you go back to those 7 starts he had last time Burrow got hurt, he kind of played like this, where he was turnover prone, but he threw more. He was almost Jameis Winston 30 for 30. He was giving touchdowns but giving interceptions.
Yeah, now he's not doing the first 30. It's only the second 30.
Patriots again. Yes, I know the Browns got a good defense, but that's an anemic offense. Eagles, and then they get the Jets again to end the season. If you look at the schedule, man, for the rest on out through the season, I see literally Eagles, Chiefs, and Buccaneers are actual competitive games.
Well, so what this means, though, is that they are pretty much undoubtedly the favorite to be the first seed in the AFC.
And
so that means they get to skip a game, and that means they get home field advantage going forward. So
that's fine, Randy, but we've seen this show from the Bills before. We've seen this show and dance. We've seen the song and dance. They're supposed to be the better team. And they'll rack up wins because they're by default, because they're in a shit-ass division. But what do you do with the rest of your schedule is what really matters. And looking at this schedule, there's 13 more games left, and only 3 of them are really worthy of mention of actual competition. I think you're setting your fan base up for another failed playoff run.
That's the Chiefs fan in you.
I'm just being real.
Are you predicting another one like 2 years ago where the Chiefs were away and they beat them in their own field?
I'm gonna tell you right now what's going to happen. All right, when Chiefs go to Buffalo November 2nd, Chiefs are going to lose that game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Bills are going to end up with the number 1 seed. Because at the last damn 13 games that they got left, there's only 3 competitive games that are even worth mentioning to talk about. They're gonna have that 1 seed. They're gonna go in there and they're gonna fumble it. They're going to choke it again. All right. You know, when we talk about Jets and Raiders of habitual, just piss poor management, we got to talk about how the Bills continually let their fan base down. Just history of the Bills. What other team can say they went to 4 straight Super Bowls and ain't walked away with none of one of them? 4 straight? And now you got, under Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, a talented team. Oh man, double-digit wins, 4 playoff runs. They get cut short.
So you're not saying you don't think they're a Super Bowl contender this year?
No, they are by default. Yeah, they're a Super Bowl contender. Getting there and winning it are 2 different things, and they have not shown the capacity that they can do it.
Okay.
They ain't shown that they can do it. I will believe it when I see it. And I know the records right now, 4-0 Bills, 2-2 Chiefs. Are you saying, just look at the performances of the last few weeks of that offense and look at the performance of that Bills defense the last few weeks. They were struggling with New Orleans Sunday. I'm maybe that is a Chief fan in me. I just need to see it. Until then, yes, they're going to be in the conversation. But I would have put the Chargers in there 3 weeks ago in that conversation. I would have.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that right now. And Chargers fans, before you jump on me, understand, and y'all don't want to admit it, but it's okay. Yeah, you're 3-1. You already lost 1 left tackle. The other best tackle just got carted off the field last week from a high ankle sprain. Let's see how long he's out. What else? Oh, you lost your best defender in Khalil. Well, no, he's not their best defender. Their second best defender, because I think Derwin James is their best defender.
Yeah. Their best lineman.
Yeah, lost your best lineman. How are you going to keep Justin Herbert upright for the rest of the season? That's your true question now. Because now there's 2 weeks in a row where quality defenses has kicked your ass.
This is the first time they've lost the game, though.
That I understand that. Well, they should have lost that Broncos game. And to segue into that conversation when it comes to the Broncos, can we stop with this fucking Bo Nix hype?
The Chiefs fan in you is about to go crazy. I'm gonna let you have your seat, because I don't disagree. By the way, it's just funny that the ones you're choosing to target.
No, I'm just being real. They should have won that Indy game. He threw a bad pick late in that game. Bo Nix did.
Yeah. Right.
That was a bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I can't sit here and act like Bo Nix has been tearing it up. No, he'll give me 2 great quarters to back it up with 2 bad quarters. And those bad quarters are in the back end of the game, and that ain't good, because that's when you lose or win games.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to tell people, you got to wait before you start darning some of these young quarterbacks. Bo not ready yet. Bo don't know. He don't know. Just pump the brakes. He ain't there yet. I'm not going to put my Chiefs in that Super Bowl conversation quite yet, because they need to still show that they're going to shake off this bad start from the offense first. And that's me being objective.
Yeah.
All right. They still got to show that, hey, because you can't struggle the first 3 weeks and all of a sudden you put up 37 against a mass unit of a hospital floor against the Ravens. And then, trust me, as a Chief fan, I loved it. But I need to see that for the other 13 games. They're going to face a good Jaguars team this upcoming week. And that defense has been playing a lot better than I thought it was. And if you look at what they're doing defensively, they're actually playing good football.
The Chiefs cannot lose that game. that would be rough for them to bounce back from that.
But I will say it won't be a cupcake. It won't be a walkthrough. It'll. I think that game hinges on what Trevor Lawrence does. 100%, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me to say Super Bowl contenders, Bills and Eagles off rip, and other than that, you got a lot of question marks.
Okay, so, and I mean, you already saw mine. I have 3 teams that I think are in.
Detroit! How did I forget?
Yeah.
I'm glad because I kind of felt you was going that way, and I don't know how I didn't even put them in the conversation.
Those are my 3. Yes.
Detroit. I know we all had questions about what are they going to look like. No Ben Johnson, no Aaron Glenn, and first week they gave us a reason to have those question marks. Since then, I can't say a damn thing.
Second year in a row where they've had the best offense in the NFL so far.
I can't say a damn thing.
So yeah, I think that and their defense has also looked really good. So yeah, I mean, it's a totally complete team. The thing is, it's important to not just look at the record, right? Because the record can be deceiving. You can be playing the best teams or the worst teams. You could have been dealing with an injury that you no longer have, et cetera, et cetera. I think those 3 are the Bills, the Eagles, who have been very beatable in the games that they've won, but they have won them, and they just came off winning the Super Bowl. So I can't take them out of the top. Even though I think that I don't think it's sustainable, but they've won all their games. They've won against good teams, and they just came off winning the Super Bowl. Bills have been felt fairly dominant, and especially after the week 1 performance, like they're probably going to be the first seed in the AFC. And then the Lions, like I said, best offense in the NFL and a really good defense.
You're good.
So they're good. The next tier of teams that can be in that top tier on a good day, they have, I would say, Super Bowl upside. I have Packers, Chargers, Buccaneers, and Rams. I think the Packers, it depends a lot on Jordan Love. If Jordan Love can hold it together for enough games in a row, then they can be that team. They, through the first 2 weeks, they did show that the defense has all the potential in the world. Chargers, kind of same deal that you said, like the injuries are really the main thing holding them back. Plus, they just lost to my Giants, who played phenomenal. So it's not like, I wouldn't call that like a holy shit, how did they lose that game, but they did lose. Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield has been a potential MVP candidate in all these like super clutch wins, and he's going to have Evans and Godwin back with Igbuka by that time. Assuming none of them get like hurt again or whatever. So that's going to be really fearsome. And then the Rams should be undefeated, like you said, and both sides of the ball looking great.
Man, that Rams deep. Oh, that defense. Oh.
Yeah, and that's in no order. If anything, I'd probably put the Rams first of those 4. But and then you have the tier of should be better than they've been. Chiefs and Ravens, I think both should have been better than they've been. Another one that I would put at the very bottom of that list to fill out that 10, Atlanta Falcons. And I know...
Ooh, you're ready to sell on that one?
Listen to me.
Oh, you better have a good pitch sale for this one right here.
Okay. Offense has looked really good. 3 of their 4 games, 2 of them have been very dominant wins, with the offense and the defense both come into play. Week 1 was a very competitive shootout with the Buccaneers, who I just put in the tier above them, and they lost because of clutch Baker Mayfield. But
fair,
very competitive game against a really good team. That Panthers game is the one reason why I can't anoint them. But
Randy, that's why I was waiting for it to come, because I'm like, damn it, I can't forgive that shit.
But sometimes if you look at a whole body of work there's one weird blip that's not really reflective of either team.
That's a bad fucking blip.
It is. Very bad blip. But if you've looked at the Panthers throughout their whole season, they have not looked anything like the team that did that. Falcons simultaneously have not looked anything like that team in any of their other 3 games against better teams.
Fair.
I don't know if everyone had a cold. I don't know what happened, but based off of what they've shown me, I don't see them doing that again. It could happen, but offenses look really good. They have all the weapons. They have a good O-line. You know, they have Bijan, they have Drake London, they have a good receiving core. Penix has been
better.
He's been.
I'm just going that way. He's been better.
He's been better. He's been, I not crazy consistent. The stats don't pop out at you, but he's in a good enough situation. And then defense has looked the best it's looked in a while with the pickups they've had. Xavier Watts, like I said, I really liked that draft pick. He's looked really good. The defensive line and the pass rush have looked better than they have in a long time. The rookies are looking good. So if their issue is, like I've been saying, their issue has always been the defense. If their defense, particularly defensive line, can get under control and become good, then you have a good team.
Yeah, they got something if they can get that part going. I'm not ready to buy all the way in what you're trying to sell me, because I can't forgive that. You got blanked by the fucking Panthers, bro.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You can go through teams' records. Like, remember when the Raiders beat the Ravens last year? Like, sometimes that weird just happens.
You're right.
And you never see either team play like that again. Like, sometimes it just happens.
No, and to your point, Panthers aren't going to never look that good for the rest of the season.
No, they won't. They got beat up by the Patriots, who I don't think are good.
42 dropped on them, and it's ever since Brady left, you don't recognize the Patriots being known for offense, putting up points. They dropped 42. Wow. Last topic before we get up out of here, and we'll jump on this quick. Obviously, we're both wrestling fans, and we've seen what this guy can do for a audience. If you can't understand his aura, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go to Backlash in Puerto Rico. What year was that? 23, I believe. It was 23. It wasn't last year, and it wasn't this year. So 2023. Go to www. On the YouTube channel and look at the aura that this man brought to just a wrestling event. Had the stadium rocking just on an entrance, and then proceeded to have a fantastic match with Damian Priest.
Yeah, I still love that match.
Here's my problem with the narrative or the noise around his announcement getting the Super Bowl. People don't understand his drawing power, and they don't understand the aura that comes with. Do people really realize Bad Bunny is the most streamed artist over the last almost damn near 5-10 years? No, literally. The numbers don't lie. He's the most streamed artist over the last at least 5 to 7 years. I'll go that range. Killing it. When he puts on a tour, it's sold out. If he comes to your city, mayhem. All right. All the sexy mommies is coming out. The sisters love him. The bunnies love him. No pun intended. So all you, I was about to say something real fucked up. Hey, you jokers,
you can say it. Look, say it, because I'm about to go off.
It's hard. If you don't understand about Bad Bunny and his aura and his drawing power, then don't watch the Super Bowl halftime. Then just don't. But you know what's going to happen? He has the potential to probably rake in the most highly viewed Super Bowl halftime in history. He has the potential to do that. And I really need you, jackass. Who? Oh, Emmanuel. Don't think you absolve. I heard what you said with your dumb ass. I thought Bad Bunny was a she. And I thought Billie Eilish was a he. Shut your dumb ass, goofy ass up. That's why your shit got canceled on FS1. And YouTube should pull your dumb shit, that speakeasy dumb shit. And the only reason why I saw that clip, because my other boy, Chris Lanehart, was roasting your ass with his content. And that's the only reason why I heard your comments. Because I'm not checking for you, Acho. Never check for you. We talking about a bum-ass motherfucker who couldn't sniff the starting field in his short NFL career and got the audacity to be on some fucking content creation shit like he knows to know. He's the loudest and the most wrong motherfucker in the room. You shut your dumb, goofy ass up. I'm going to let you have it, man, because I just think if you don't understand what Bad Bunny does for entertainment, then shut the fuck up.
All right, so I mean, like, what's happening here is the same thing that happened last year. Basically, it's white America not liking when something is for anybody but them. That's what happened last year. That's what happened this year. And whatever people want to say, it's all excuses. It's all the same noise. Like, why can't we have an American? He is an American.
Randy.
And none of these people said that shit when it was British rock bands, right? Like, it has nothing to do with that.
That part,
and they know that.
That part, Randy, and real quick, they didn't have that issue when they announced Shakira and J-Lo.
A lot of them don't like Shakira and J-Lo for the same reason, right? But you know, it's because it's not. They're also for a predominantly Latino audience, and that's why they don't like Bad Bunny, because he's for a predominantly Latino audience. That is his demographic. That wants to understand his lyrics. He takes from popular Puerto Rican music, right? It's for an audience that's not them. Kendrick Lamar was for us.
Yeah,
that is the demographic. He's for everybody, right? Like, lots of white people like Bad Bunny, lots of white people like Kendrick Lamar. When I say for, I mean like the demographic and culture for which the music comes from and is understood on a deeper level by. That was true then, and that's why they hated him. That Kendrick Lamar is obviously an American. He obviously speaks English, so it's not that like, oh, well, I can't understand the lyrics. Like, well, last year you said you couldn't understand a guy who was speaking English, right? It's because they don't like when something is not for anybody but them, and it goes, especially in this current climate, the MAGA world, right? Like, Latino Spanish speaking artist is of course going to draw that to an even bigger degree. It's not new, but it has been fired up and amplified by the current political world. Everything that has any person of color doing anything or anything that is of a culture that's not theirs, it's labeled woke. Like, I've heard lots of people calling this woke. It's really like, if you're just as like a pure smart business decision, Bad Bunny is, like you said, has been the most streamed artist. He appeals to a demographic of millions of people. He's huge. Like, whatever artist they would pick, like fucking Kid Rock or whatever, like, he's just not going to move those numbers. So like, I don't know, they'd probably pick like Tom McDonald, or they'd probably pick like some old band that like they can barely get the fuck up on the stage, right? Like, it's Bad Bunny is the guy from a business standpoint to pick, and it happens to demonstrate how culturally powerful and influential Latino Puerto Rican music is, just like what hip hop was last year, and they can't stand it. And that's the problem with it. That's why they hate it. They hate when any other culture is represented.
Yeah, that's their own personal problem. But Hey man, we gonna get up out of here as always, man. Randy, I appreciate you, man. Great show tonight. Y'all know what it is. You need audio needs, Panther on Acid on Instagram with my man Randy. I.O.W Sports Network. Hey, follow me on Twitter, man. Hey man, we gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow night for last show of the week. Other than that, y'all know the deal. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Me and Randy out. He's gonna celebrate tomorrow for Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo, and I'm about to go get into some trouble. So, hey, man, peace and love, y'all. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We out.
Yeah. Silent Hill TD, yes, what's up? Yeah, come on. I.O.W Sports Network, late night edition. Let's go. Come on.
We about to raise the bar. Wild card mark. Everybody grab a seat, cause you know we about to spark. Late night sports talk. Modelo Le Cigar. Man, you don't wanna start. Wild card mark.